inherently like constantly happening.
Yeah, there's a time where you got to take responsibility, take accountability.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
dude, you're smart as hell.
thank you, thank you. I mean, I've said this before, right? I don't discredit the past, but just like how today, right? Children may experience trauma. 100%. That's terrible, right? Trauma is terrible. But once you get to
Yeah,
adult,
of
I'm
course.
sorry, you got to take care of it, right? You got to get some therapy and pick yourself up. That's life, right? Everyone experiences therapy. I mean, everyone experiences trauma. There's very few people that don't experience trauma. But if we expect that adults to, you know what, not use that trauma to, let's say, terrorize others, treat others like shitty, like then we should do the same thing
Or have
with
that, or use that as an excuse.
exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good point. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good point.
Jess, what is up? What is up?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm chilling. What's up?
Um, as a black man, I agree with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Racism is not our top five problem in the
Mm,
black community.
yep.
Um, and number two, I agree. Feminists did hurt the black community, not only
Mm-hmm.
the black community but all communities.
Correct.
White privilege isn't real. I'm borderline 50-50 with that.
Mm-hmm.
And for the number four, I totally agree.
Mm.
The guy before me said something that was very truthful. The lady who made the Black Life Movement,
Mm-hmm.
what did she do with
Mm-hmm.
the money? She
Exactly.
took millions of dollars, made a mansion, bought cars, and didn't incorporate none of that to the black communities that's out there
Yep.
who are suffering. So I do agree with this prompt as a black man.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. And again, this is I hate
Res-
this narrative, right? That I'm not trying to, promote hate. I'm trying to let's be adults. We live in a
let's
It's
be
country rich
accountability.
realistic.
with
Let's be
everyone.
realistic. Let's be
It's
realistic.
accountability.
Let's sit down and be realistic about the facts, and let's be adults about it.
Mm.
You know.
But that's the thing about black communities, right? We often love to point the finger, but when
Mm.
the finger needs to be pointed to us, we kind of go ghost. For
Mm.
example, like
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you have stats like the majority of young black males that are being off by another black male is through the
Mm.
roof. We don't speak about them.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But then we
Okay, let
often
me let
talk
me let me
about
bring up a fact regarding that. So a lot of people in the black community in the black culture, they like to bring up the fact that there's more white on white violence. Like the number is 72%, but if you dumb it down to, let's say, 1,000 people, so based on the population, so obviously there's not much black on black crime or black crime in, let's say, Switzerland. Why? Because there's no black people over there. Like the number is like very, very small. So if you were to, you know, per 1,000 people, the crime rate is even higher for black on black crime.
Yeah. That's why you got to do it per capita, so it could be apples to
Yeah,
apples,
per capita.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
the black community is only 13% of America, while the white community is about 60 to 70. So it's not it's so no duh that white people as a total will be on in like will be number one in almost every category because they make up the majority of the population. That's why when you compare shit like that, when you say, "Oh, white people do this, white people that," yeah, no, duh, they make up the majority of the population. But to make it to apples instead of apples to oranges, you do per capita, right? You try to weigh it out between we do 1,000 people here, 1,000 people there. So what do you get? That is per capita. This is why when you talk about per capita stats, the black community is angry, right? They get angry that you know what? Instead of white people being number one, black people are number one.
So it would make sense to anybody if a certain group of people, let's say Okay, you look like you're Asian. You guys like rice. Is that wrong to say?
No, not wrong.
Okay, so it's somewhat true. Okay, so if there's a certain percent of people that get pulled over and that have violent interactions and pew pew peace officers, would it be safe to say if I'm a peace officer, I'm gonna be extra careful?
Mm, mm,
And if
mm.
if I ask you, yo, don't reach for anything, don't touch,
Yep. This is the thing
like
I do want to talk about the police officer shit. If you look at the
yeah,
numbers, right? You look at the numbers yearly, probably about 300 black people die. If you look through the media lens, you think millions of black people are dying. They're not. And in majority of those cases, 90% of those cases, it is armed assailants, right? Armed people who have actual
yeah.
weapons.
Oh, my son's a good boy.
Mm.
He never did nothing.
And then he's carrying around a gun.
Yeah, be realistic.
Exactly. So
He,
this is again, I said this in a few videos. It's about proportional outrage. I'm not saying, hey, don't be upset that a police officer shot your son. Of course, but okay, if you're so upset with that, what about the almost 10,000 black on black deaths, homicides, right? Black people killing other black people. If you are upset about one white person killing a black person, you should be 1,000 times more upset when a black person
no,
kills a black person.
you know what is crazy? You only hear about the white officer
Mm,
versus the black person. You
correct.
don't hear about the black officer versus the white person ever. I confident can say no one can bring up a certain case where
Mhm.
that's a thing.
Yeah. And white people have altercations
No,
with
yeah,
officers
we
too.
all everybody
Yeah.
everybody
So it's
is
not like anything
not.
special. It's not anything special.
Yeah.
But
But it's
again,
just it's a point and a
yeah,
perspective that they can use to push
e-
whatever agenda they want to.
exactly. I'm tired of this identity politics. I'm tired of the racial divide, right?
Oh
And
my
there are
gosh.
studies that show you that black people in general are talking more about white people than white people are. They don't care. I'm sorry. They're not like I mean, and again, I'll preference this. Maybe my FYP, but you hear or you see more one-sided conversations on the black community than you do on the white. They're living their life, right? They're not caring about racism. They're not caring about the black, community or black people like that. They're not. This is why it's like I'm. I don't know. I'm an '80s and '90s baby. During that time, people barely cared about race, and all of a sudden now we're talking about it so much. It is tiring, right? We're not going to stop the divide if we're constantly focused on race and hating each other because of race. This is why I say the shit I'm saying, because in my opinion, I see black people talking and perpetuating race more than white people. It's got to stop.
But is this because they're black or because they're lower IQ and they can't really fully understand what's actually going on?
It's the victimhood. They need to be victims.
Oh, the
Because
victim mentality. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
to
Okay, I
because
agree.
again, if you it's an excuse, right? Oh, why am I failing? Why am I not getting an education? Why am I not getting a job? Why am I not being a middle class person? Because of the white man, because of white supremacy,
Yeah.
because of
Where
the
where are my
slavery, Jim Crow.
reparations? Where are my
Yes,
reparations? Like, bro,
right, and it gives you an
that
excuse,
has
right?
nothing to even do with you,
It gives you an excuse to
respectfully.
be a failure, or excuse that okay, because you couldn't make
It's
it,
your
that is why.
outlet. It's your scapegoat. It's your scapegoat.
Exactly. And that's what I fight against. I'm not gonna. I don't. Uh, I'm not into that shit. I want people to stop being victims. Pick yourself out of the up the bootstraps, and come on, work for it.
No, no, no. At that point, it's devote yourself to God and then just pray every single day, and you're good. Like at that point, if you want to be like that, like yeah, just don't do anything, don't change it, don't try to figure out the real reason. Just blindly devote yourself. You know.
That is the thing where during crazy times during Jim Crow, the black community had the highest marriage rates. They were so devoted to God. They were grown economically, right? Things were doing good during one of the black community's worst times, and all of a sudden, after Jim Crow, when they gained so much more freedom, it just did a 180, where the lowest marriage rates, They are the least religious. They're doing the worst economically. You gotta figure out why, right? And I think it's like, degeneracy,
It's their
excuses.
culture.
Sadly, it is, and that's the part where number two, right? I think feminism did it. They took out the patriarchy, right? The leaderships of fathers, the leaderships of men, and put women in charge. And that is why we're saying fail. And it's happening. Yeah, correct. It's happening to all communities.
Oh wait, you know the biggest point on that. Like I agree with you. The biggest point was men used to provide everything, whatever. Let me separate the man and the woman from the child, and let me institutionalize your child and learn my agenda.
Correct.
That's the biggest problem right there.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? If we want to blame anyone, the white man, it's that we're letting the wealthy, the rich, the powerful do that to us. And I find it funny where the black community is so against, but yet they're allowing, the white elites to do this to them. So they're perfectly falling for it, right? Instead of us getting together and waking up, no, you're perpetuating the democratic rule, right? Identity politics.
Let me ask you, friendly. It's gonna sound I'm gonna attack you a little bit, but
Go for it.
I just want to hear what would your solution be then?
Okay, my solution is go back to patriarchy. Have the man as a leader, right? Women follow, right? Women are the helpmate, right? Stop relying on the government. Stop blaming others, right? Get an education, right? Get an education. Stop being degenerates. Stop being criminals, right? Obey the law. Obey society. Be good people, right? Start implementing morals, right? Religion helped them. Religion did that to them. Did that for them, right?
I firmly believe religion was based to kind of like, hey, everyone, humanity, let's let's not be savages anymore.
I agree.
Hello.
Jaden, what is up?
I'm doing very well. I saw the second prompt and I agree with it 100%. Feminism, the black community is basically a matriarchy.
Correct.
Mainly because the fathers don't really want the kids, but that's understandable when you've been around black women.
Well,
if you guys talk about,
if the dad isn't even there, it's like it's hardly considered anything,
Well, Jaden,
but think about it. There's two options if the dad isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
The son either turns out into a thug or a gay guy, and it fries the black community. That's way worse. I mean, crack's pretty bad. I guess white racism's pretty bad. But that is the main problem with the black community is guys either turning out homosexuals or thugs. There's no in between when there's only margins. Y'all don't know nothing about the black community. And when I say black community, I'm talking about African Americans, not African immigrants, because you'll never see them act like this. Mm-hmm. It's only African Americans.
What's good, y'all?
You know what's crazy? African immigrants are actually far worse, not in America, but in Japan. And they do a lot crazier stuff.
Well, let's stick with America.
Wait, which African immigrants are going all the way to Japan?
Let's stick with America. Stick with America. So because
so look, if you're
even get that?
Okay.
Well, let's
wait. How?
No. I want you to reiterate. How would the African immigrants get to Japan?
Okay. Do you know what asylum is?
Do you know what a flight is? Do you know what airplanes are?
Hold on. No. That's not what
you think they can afford a flight to Japan?
Hold on.
Let's stop. No.
And can you even afford a flight to Japan?
Let's stop. I want to stick with America.
One for everyone here.
I want to stick with America. So let's wait. Levon, what's your opinions?
So I'm a black American. Mm-hmm. I disagree with the first prompt. I disagree with the second prompt. I disagree with the third prompt, and I disagree with the fourth prompt.
Okay, so let's dissect it. So you disagree with the first.
Let's say the counter arguments.
Yes. Why would you think that? Let's say racism is top 5. Why? How's racism stopping you?
So racism is an abstract kind of issue in the sense that it being tangible is how it affects other things in life. And simply because racism, right, which is a system that America was essentially built on, because it has impacted the economy, politics, sociopolitics, housing, food access, water access, environmental access.
Wait,
It's
so
it's affected
impacted
every single.
negatively or positively?
It's
All right,
a.
let him
It,
finish.
it could
Let him
be.
finish. Let him
Yes,
finish.
yes,
Let him
yes,
finish.
yes.
I don't personally think racism has had a single positive impact. So everything I'm saying that I just listed, they're all negative things, right? The fact that racism has the ability and hasn't impacted all of those different facets of life shows that it's literally the number one issue probably for every single American,
How?
regardless of their race.
No. How's it affecting?
Well, could I
How
ask
is it
Leave
affecting
on a
the black
question?
community
Could I?
today?
How is it affecting the black community today?
Correct. How's it
Well,
stopping
host,
you
I'm
from
not
doing anything?
but that's not what you asked me, host.
No,
So
I'm asking
you
you.
asked
You,
me
you,
you
That's
asked me
that's
two different
exactly what
questions.
he asked.
So which
No,
question
but
are you asking
he's
me? Are
breaking
you
it
asking
down.
me?
He's breaking it down.
number one,
Are you
if
asking me?
if it's a top 5 problem, right? A top 5 problem in the black community, it has to be affecting you, right? Has to be affecting you and your community.
Mhm.
How is it affecting you and your community specifically, right? It's stopping you from doing something.
So
I can.
but hold on. Wait. Once host, you're asking me two different. I'm
No.
confused. I want to make sure I know.
Sure.
Hold on. Just let me. I want to make sure I understand your question.
Mhm.
Asking me how something affect. Are you asking me how it affects me, or are you asking me what does it stop me from doing? Those are two different questions. If you
It's
get
not.
what
No,
I'm saying.
they're not.
It's
No,
not.
they're not two different things.
If
You're not
it's
straw
it's
man in this.
affecting you,
Hold
right?
on.
Affecting you, then because we gotta think, right? Problems are affecting you. It's impeding something in
Yeah.
your life, right? It's doing
Yeah, if
something.
something's preventing you, then it's affecting you.
Hold on,
So
Jaden,
yes, they
Jaden.
are similar.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
You can still
This
be
is victim
affected by
mentality
something
right
by
here.
not preventing you from doing something. For
Literally,
example,
like we're speaking English, right?
it wasn't
So
a law. It wasn't a law
I'm
put in.
confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's not even like you gotta think, right? Top 5 problems. Let's say when you was talking about humans in general, when we say top 5 problems, right? Maybe bills, it's affecting you. Hunger, it's affecting you. It's living wages. Those are like
healthcare,
again,
employment,
but so that
criminal
please tell
Healthcare's
justice,
me
affecting all of you
housing,
Americans, lol.
yeah,
wealth.
housing.
That's
Show me
affecting you, right?
where black people cannot get a house, right? You can't
Okay.
move to somewhere else. and
It's
get a
not
house?
written on paper, bro. It's not written on paper, bro.
See that?
Let me
Because it
explain
doesn't
to you.
exist. That's why it's not written on
But
paper.
I want to go
So
one at a
Jaden,
time, right?
relax,
I want to
Jaden.
go one at a
What?
time. So
So
I was
because-
talking to Levon.
No. See,
Right?
this
I
is
want
the
to-
problem right
I
here.
want Levon
I'm
to
trying to answer the host's
respond,
question.
and then
No.
we'll move on.
Racism will only affect you as much as you allow it to affect you, and you're allowing it to
I don't fully agree with that. I will
grown
say
man,
it's still
another
not
grown
so
man just asked me a question. And why are you answering the question for me,
That's
brother?
No, I'm not.
Go ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
stating. I'm not asking.
You
I'm
are.
stating.
So okay, so I'm
Factually.
gonna answer the
Yes.
how it's affecting me question because
Go
I
ahead.
can't answer the how it stops me at the same time, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So the way racism affects black people
Hello.
of America, right? So
No,
it's affected
you
me
cut out.
in the
You cut out.
sense that
Rewind.
See,
You cut out.
You cut out.
okay,
You cut
okay.
out.
It's a. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Start
So
from
it's
the beginning. Start from the
it's
beginning.
affecting me in a sense in multiple ways. It's affecting me primarily in the way that it's affected my ancestral line, right? My grandmother grew up
Is
on
affecting
a
you? No, the
plantation.
question is how does it affect you? You can't say ancestral line.
So it's
specifically
affecting me
you.
because
Just let him
So what-
finish.
so
Just let him
what-
finish, guys.
what's-
Just let him finish.
Statement.
So
Oh my god.
Yeah, just let him finish.
Jaden and Ant. Jaden and Ant, I already heard you guys speak, so I know how y'all feel already. So y'all don't have to interrupt me every time I begin to answer the host.
No, I
question.
understand, but you're negating
answering
the
question in-
that was
like-
But
asked.
if you,
can-
but
we
but
can
what you're
rebuttal
doing
afterwards.
is
We can
In
rebuttal
other words-
afterwards. So just
in
let
other
him
literally-
finish.
You said,
Yeah,
let me
okay,
answer
we'll
the
rebuttal
Just shut
afterwards.
up and
Everyone
let me
Guys,
answer the question.
please.
Impulse
Literally.
control. Impulse control.
Hold
Come
on,
on.
hold
literally.
on.
So
Let me tell him what he's
just
doing.
wait.
Black
No,
American talk
you
about
can't
impulse
tell me.
Just
control.
You
wait till
can't
he's
tell me
done
what I'm doing
answering the
wrong. I'm a
question.
grown man.
Like-
I'm a grown man. I'm
It's
gonna
okay.
answer
I
another
mute.
grown man's
I
question.
mute. Stop it. Okay. Let's.
So
Levon, continue.
so again, right? So my grandmother grew up on
But that
a
has nothing to do
plantation.
with you, bro.
Yo, aunt, you don't got no self control. You a grown man.
Asking
Aunt,
you
I'm
about
sorry.
how it
Aunt, I'm
affects
sorry.
you, not your grandma.
Okay,
You good?
and he's going to get
Aunt,
there.
I'm
So
sorry.
shut up.
I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry. I want to have a productive conversation. So please.
I do, and
Let's
I do
just-
too. I do too, right? So my grandmother grew up on a plantation in Mississippi, right? Because of the Great Migration and the force of racism coming from the South, my grandmother decided she's gonna take my grandma my great grandmother, right? She decided she's going to take my grandma and she's going to move from Mississippi to Chicago. The entire reason I was born is because one of my ancestors made a decision because of the force of racism. That's why I even exist right now. So that's just one. Next, let's talk about, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, right? Chicago is an extremely segregated city, which was purposely designed to do that way. I lived in a community that, by way of intention, right, by way of design, by way of urban design, had a lack of access to proper food, right? I lived in a food desert, essentially, which I'm sure contributed to my overall health. I can't tell you whether or not it was positive or negative, right? And that's just me as an individual. We have the intersection of that community with a lack of resources induced crime. Crime in my community, right, which we know the number one cause of crime is poverty, has had multiple psychological effects on my life. That's just me personally. Those are just two small answers I can give you right now.
Okay. Here's my thing, right? I've said this other times. I've never discredited the past. The past matters, but the past matters only to a certain point. Okay. I've said this and this is my own personal view. And for Asian people, right? Everyone has experienced poverty in some form or another. But for Asian people, in about 1 or 2 generations, we achieved greatness, right? We achieve better economically than white people. We achieve higher education than white people. So how I see it is that I don't disagree that in the sense that, yes, things can affect you. It affects everyone, right? Poverty affects everyone. However your parents lived, it affects everyone. But at a certain point, if you're an adult, you have to take control. You have to make the changes yourself, right? Nothing you say is necessarily unique to the Black community. Poverty isn't unique to the Black community. Plenty of communities are impoverished, yet they don't result to criminality, doing, stealing, all this shit, violence and stuff. They don't, right? There's plenty of studies, plenty of stats show you that being poor doesn't necessarily automatically make you a criminal. It's choices. And again, this is why I said racism isn't a top 5 big problem in the Black community because, right, it doesn't necessarily make you do anything, right? So maybe during your grandma's age, yes, I don't disagree. This is why all of these prompts is usually, I'm meaning today, in 2026, in modern day era, in the one generation that, you know what, we are all free more than ever before. We have more opportunities than ever before. So if you believe that racism is a problem to you today, you are the problem. That's what I mean, because every one of us can achieve the best version of ourselves today. No one is stopping you. No white man is stopping you, right? You can leave a store if someone is ignorant to you. You can leave a city if someone is whatever. We have more power than ever before. So that is why I don't see that as a problem today. Now, I don't disagree that when your parents were, you know what, there's an actual system, right? The majority of white people, right, which is 60, 70%, were stopping you from achieving. Today, that is not true at all. Right? So I still don't see it as a problem to you today. Because what you said about where you live, well, everyone lives in poverty areas. How your parents are, if they were poor or whatever, a lot of people grew up with poor parents. So I still don't see it as a true indicator of it being a problem for you.
Can I reply to you real quick, host?
I
know you got come get it down there, right? So one, you didn't ask me, host, how does it specifically only impact Black people, right? Because we all human. We all live. No, he didn't. We all live a human experience, right? So I don't believe, host, you would have to name this for me. You couldn't name one thing in the realm of reality in the multiverse. You couldn't name one thing that only one ethnicity experiences. You couldn't. There's not a single aspect of any reality that only Black people deal with. And next, what you said was, you said, hey, Asians have come into the country and have had the ability to rise, right? You're absolutely correct. when Asian immigrants, let's just say Chinese first, right? When Chinese immigrants began arriving into this country, they faced prejudice, they faced discrimination, right? They had to work,
yeah, they did,
and build themselves up to the point in which you have, like me in Chicago, Chinatown is one of the most affluent communities in all of Chicago, right? Big city. What you might not understand, host, is
Hello?
you cut out, bro.
Live on.
Levon?
Okay.
Host, can I say something?
Go ahead.
See, I agree with every single point with number 3, except for white privilege isn't real. I don't agree with that. As an Asian, you should 100% know white privilege is real. One,
no white
a lot
person
of
is better than
Asians
me.
just support
I'm
the
sorry.
idea of white. Huh?
No, this is the thing. It's a poisonous mindset. No white person is better than me.
It's definitely a poisonous mindset where people take it too far, but it is definitely real.
Yo, my
the
bad.
Oxford study is real for a reason. You're an Asian man. You know a lot about this. If the average white man was to turn up into any Asian nation, your women are going, bro.
No,
they're
because
going, bro.
You can look at statistics, right? You can look at statistics in general.
Yeah,
Asian people stick with Asian people. I don't look at the outliers and say, "Oh, that's the truth." No, I don't. And let's be honest, right? If it was even a wealthy, it's the idea of wealth, right? Not necessarily because of race. I mean, the race plays the image because we see white people race. As it's not because expat. No matter I've seen Asian women go with Indian
how
men.
How did they become wealthy, sir? Because of racism. Like either way you look
at it,
they became
wealthy
because of racism. Slavery,
because of dominance.
And their wealth.
Then let's go ahead.
We were having a productive conversation to come.
Unpaid labor increased their wealth throughout time, so now they have generational wealth, sir. So ultimately, it stems from racism.
Jaden, let her talk.
You just brought in a null and done point. Nice one, come and get it.
All right, but like I was saying, like I was trying to say, yes, racism does still affect us today because of the redlining that happened in the past, caused our house.
So racism still affects us today because of something that happened in the past. Nice one.
Let her
yes, and I'm about to explain it to you.
There's no way you've let these words.
Can you let me explain it to you? Yes or no? Like, can you shut the fuck up?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, racism still does affect us today due to lower ownership, right? Because the fact that we weren't able to get housing loans back then because of redlining.
Did you say back then was something to do with now?
Hold on.
How does it affect you now in this day and age?
Shut the fuck up and let me tell you how it affects me now in today's world? Like, are you gonna shut the fuck up?
Yeah,
yes or no?
We can always
you're not saying how it affects
are you going to
shut
the fuck up? Yes or no?
Jaden, we can always counter her afterwards. Just let each other finish. Let each other finish. Just let each other finish, right? Go ahead. We can always counter her afterwards. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, it still affects us because of the redlining. Now today, when there were times when people
used to. Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up. Like, are you serious?
Jaden, please. I want us to have a productive conversation. If we interrupt each other so many times, it goes nowhere. We can't continue. So please, let's just
all right. Like I was
finish.
Saying, it affects us financially because we weren't able to own homes, resell them, etc. So it caused like a generational wealth imbalance, and also the loans that our parents would have been able to have. Also, it affect us. It doesn't have to affect us legally for it to still be a community problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be legal for it to be a problem. That is what I'm trying to say. So it affects us through the criminal injustice because Black people are still 7 times more likely to get the highest conviction, and also
because you guys commit more crime.
More likely to get arrested in the daytime. There was a study
because you commit more crime.
Shut up. There was a study where in the daytime, when it comes to getting pulled over or just misdemeanors, just simple stuff. In the daytime, they did a study where when they could see race, they would get arrested more. But in the nighttime, when officers couldn't see race, it would decrease. Making sense? Okay. So racism does ultimately.
Okay. So you made 2 points, right? You made 2 points.
Could I add a point now?
No, can you shut the fuck up? I'm not done listing my points.
I was speaking
Healthcare.
to the host, not
Black
you, dumbass.
Americans
Shut the
on
fuck up.
average experience a
we can
higher rate of maternal.
but let's go at it by point by point, right? Because we
Okay.
all right. So you made 2 points, right? Home ownerships and the violence. I don't disagree that there's over policing, but we can counter that by looking at black victims, homicides, right? Black homicide victims are a whole lot larger, right, per capita than white homicides. And if we all agree that crime is proximity, so black people, right, they're committing a whole lot more homicide. Let's take out the over policing part, right? So black on black violence, killings and shootings are already high. So even if you take away, the high conviction rate or the high, policing, there's still a high amount of crime in the black community. It already shows. So really, you can't say that's racism when honestly, when left to your own devices, you kill each other at a higher rate, right? We take out petty thieves, petty drug offenses. We could take all that with over policing, but still homicide rates are higher in the black community than other communities, right? So I still don't see that. If you even take out the supposed idea of racism, that's already a problem. So second, the home ownership thing, right? Why I bring up the Asian community, because again, the Asian community home ownership didn't outpass the black community. And yet in 1 or 2 generations, right, the Asian community outpassed even white communities, right? So that is how I view that. I've said it already. I don't disagree about the past. The past is very real, right? But the problem when I talk about the black community is a lot of times that you let it shackle you, right? You let it hold you back. I'm not talking about you in specific individuals, but as a community, you let it hold you back. Why the Asian community now outpass, home ownerships compared to the black community? Like about the black community is about 45% home ownerships, while the Asian community, Asian, Native Hawaiians, Pacific, is 58%. Right? And again, the Asian community is here about 1 or 2 generations, so it's not long past Jim Crow. Some of the black community's grandmothers or great grandmothers, right? So in a small amount of time, the Asian community is bypassing. And my thing is that you're letting the past hold on. You're letting the past be your excuse for why I can't achieve greatness or why I can't achieve nothing.
100%.
As a collective.
I
what's confusing.
Wealth has everything to do with the situation. Like I said, of course, there can be 1 or 2 generations, but I would argue that it has nothing to do with the discrimination against black people when it comes to wealth. Okay, wealth has everything to do with home ownership, and if you're insufficient when it financially, of course, it's going to affect you when you're buying a house because of the history due to the discrimination of you having generational wealth.
I literally
And
disproved
also,
that.
if your
I
mother
literally
is
disproved
and
that.
your
I'm sorry. I literally just disproved that. Right? Well,
Yeah,
I just
come and
said
get
it. Right?
see.
I just said it. In 1 or 2 generation, right? The Asian community bypassed it. Why? It's not because of generational wealth. It's about a community, right? We all get together. We all help out each other, buy property, or live under the same roof until we can buy property. This is the problem. There's not a community in the black community. Feminism has destroyed that, right? During the time where your grandmothers and your great grandmothers, right? You were a community because you all follow the leadership of a man, right? And now it's all a bunch of, and again, this is in general, but it's single mothers raising the next generations, right? So there's no leadership. There's no actual community. You're not helping out each other, really, right? We talked about this, right? Even the BLM movement, they thought about themselves, not the black community. So even at the top, when certain black people gain power, because this is the blunt truth, only in America, right? The second most political powerful group is black Americans, right? They've been presidents, they've governors, mayors, senators, police chiefs, all this. And yet you're seeing, if you look in the news, a lot of them are just lining their own pockets. So even the black community isn't helping out the black community. Black people are not helping out each other. This is why. Stop looking at racism. Stop looking at the white man. Think about yourselves, right? Think about your community. And
Your host,
that's
can I
why.
say something now?
Go for it, Jade.
Your host. As I was saying while she was making her argument, you asked her about how racism affects her today, and the first things that come out of her mouth is or generational or something in the past or something in the past. It's not the fact that black people use this and it's holding them back. No, it's just that the black African community can't evolve and they just like to cope with the whole slavery excuse.
I can cut your argument down in one question.
Go
All right, cool.
You as well, host, with this because there's this disillusion.
One question.
With how the past. I'm gonna prefix it first, if that's okay with you, Jay.
Okay.
So there's a disillusionment with how the past affects the present, right? Right. We're adults, so we're smart. We can comprehend the idea that when it comes to things like wealth, when it comes to things like psychology, the study of people, the progresses in the past absolutely affect the present. The Empire State Building was built in the past, and it probably generates millions of dollars that affect today. So my question is, what year did black people did racism stop holding us back? What year did it change? Since what year should we have gotten over this thing or that it just stopped, it became in the past? Like, can somebody tell me that?
He said two generations. You said 2 generations. Prior to me, my grandma wasn't even able to own a home, get a loan. And then my mother just now was able to be financially independent. So
so you can buy houses today.
What Jaden?
Wait, come get it.
What year?
Let me
come get it. No, that was a Freudian slip.
What year?
Okay.
Say that again.
I could say 1970, right? Everything after 1970, things should be in your hands.
After 19.
So host, let me ask you this: do you think and this is fact? This is admitted by the agency itself, by people of the agency.
The CIA.
Do you think, Jaden? Do you think the fact that the CIA intentionally moved smugs into specifically impoverished black communities could have a negative post 1970 could have a negative effect on the black community?
100%. The CIA specifically moved crack. Wait, can I add on to that, Levon? The CIA specifically moved crack into black communities mainly to support the financial situation in Nicaragua. But let's say, for example, do you think they would be able to do this in any other community? Just give out crack and it will just self-destruct the community.
Let me tell you. Let me answer your question, baby.
No, wait. I want to answer that first. I want to answer this first, right? I don't disagree that it affected the black community 100%. What I disagree is that, again, right? The whole idea is that we're lacking accountability. No one will force me to take crack. No one will force me to deal it. Right? No one will force me to be a criminal. Nobody. I don't care how poor I am.
Gave you free crack, and you guys decided,
influence has everything to do with outcomes.
Weak minds are easily influenced. I'm sorry.
Outcomes.
You're literally. Did they force you? You're literally.
Did they force you to do that?
Are you refuting the fact that influence has everything to do?
No, it does. It does.
No.
Let
me tell you.
No one has ever agreed to that.
Because no one forces you to do something that it doesn't matter. But at the same time, influence has everything to do with outcomes.
Can I influence you to take crack?
Yes, it does.
Can I influence you to take crack right now?
Go buy a milkshake from your corner shop.
Come get it.
Influence you to go buy a milkshake from your corner shop. Will you now go buy a milkshake from corner shop?
Studies show that they would lean forward to those things other than others that are of distance. So obviously, influence has everything to do with outcomes. If you want to list those
come get it.
No, it doesn't.
Come get it. Watch
this.
Watch this. Look, y'all. Watch
this. If influence has so much control on your outcomes, can I speak to Comgay? Can I reply to Comgay? If influence has so much effect on your outcomes, that means you're just a low IQ person with impulse control.
It does not.
We know how, Jaden. We know how you feel.
Yes,
you just
it does.
You just told me to silence
how you act.
You're low IQ. When you're in, depending on when it comes to proximity, right? when you have
Yep.
certain things within your proximity, you are
Yes, your
going
proximity.
to lead towards those things more than
Lead
anything
towards
else.
it.
Due to
Are
the
you
fact,
forced to do it?
due to the fact you're not, that doesn't matter. Due to the fact that
Yes,
that's
it
not
does
my
matter. It
argument,
does
so it
very
doesn't
much
matter.
matter in this
I'm refuting
situation.
the fact that just because you're forced to do something doesn't mean that you cannot, that's not going to be the outcome. Like I was saying, because it's in proximity, you're more likely to go do those things rather than something being
Yeah, you're
out
more
of distance.
likely. You don't have to.
Exactly. So therefore,
Exactly,
obviously,
you agree with
the
my point.
outcome
End
is
of
going
end
to
of
be a
you agree with my
majority
point.
doing
Freudian
something
slip.
because in proximity they were influenced to do it. Are we like?
Can I piggyback? Come
If I
get it.
put a
Yeah,
if I
Can I
put a kilo of
piggyback?
crack right next to
oblivious
you,
to
are you gonna
this?
break it down and start selling it in your neighborhood?
Okay,
Are you going?
just to
So what is your
piggyback.
Answer the
argument that it
question.
doesn't?
Answer the question. You guys are avoiding my question. If I give you a kilo of crack, will you just start breaking it down in your neighborhood? It's in your proximity.
Look,
It's
we're
influencing you.
we're having a real conversation about
Yes,
real
and I'm
people.
asking you a question, and you're not
Jaden,
answering the question.
I need you to slow down.
Okay, I'll slow down.
We're having a real
I'll answer the question
conversation.
very slowly.
We're
I'll
having a
ask you
real.
the
I'm
question
not going
very
to answer your
slowly.
question.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
going to answer it. I'm
Of
sorry.
course,
I'm
you
not.
won't answer the question because you
I'm
know
not,
you're gonna
bro.
answer. You
Okay, fine,
destroyed by the
but
question.
But I would love to have the conversation, right? And the
To have a conversation, you must ask questions. You retard.
What?
Duh.
Hey,
Look, I don't have
what
to.
do you
I
mean?
don't have to talk
let's
to you,
not.
dude.
Okay, come on. Then let's just move on to that, right? I mean, it's not going to go nowhere.
But
Can I
what's
answer the question?
important?
Can I ask the
What's
question, host?
important, host?
Can I
Right?
ask him that
Host,
question,
what's
host?
important?
He's not going.
What's important is the
Come on,
idea.
Jaden, just
Is the idea that okay? So now we've established that the CIA did that, right? That's a fact.
I never
That's a
said we're
historical
okay.
Yes, we
fact.
all know that's a
Yes,
fact.
yes.
Duh, we've all agreed on that.
So then what happens is we're both adult. We're all adults, so we can recognize
Yep.
that no, you can't force nobody to do anything. You
Correct.
can't. It's not
Mhm.
possible, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But what happens is okay, you say we're gonna bring these people over by boats. We're gonna enslave these people. We're gonna put them through black codes and we're gonna put them through Jim Crow. We're gonna purposely push legislation that makes it illegal for them to own
400 years
homes.
ago, by the way.
We're gonna listen. If Jaden, you gotta listen. We're gonna purposely push legislation that prevents them from owning homes. We're gonna prevent them from owning businesses. We're gonna do all of these things. We're gonna strip them economically completely, and then we're gonna give them something that, while it negatively impacts their community, it gives them also the ability to make money by selling it. But then after we give them that, we're gonna start the United States countrywide legislative push for a war on smugs. So then we're going to start increasing the amount of police presence we have in these communities due to something that we literally just gave them. And then we're going to lock them all up. And then it continues until now you have Levon, who's 25 years old, and I was born in 2000. It's simple.
Yeah, I
the
agree.
past,
Levon,
the
Levon,
past is
let me
absolutely
wait, guys, wait.
irrelevant.
Okay, so let me give you an analogy, right? So tell me if this is, and it seems like you will support this, right? So tell me, right? If I was a child, right? Let's say of 2 or 3, right? I experienced years of trauma during my childhood, getting R-worded, getting beaten up, getting let's buy my mom, right? Or the women in my community, right? Or women in my family. So I was abused constantly as a child. Now, as an adult, right? Because of all that trauma, because of all that influence, all that shit, is it understandable? Is it, okay, you're fine with it when I, as an adult, now do these terrible acts to women because of my trauma, right? Because I had no control over myself, especially now as an adult, right? I'm not doing it. I'm not controlling my actions, and I'm using my past, my trauma, to now inflict the traumas to other people. Would you say that, as an adult, you're understandable, you're sympathetic, and it is what it is?
To answer your question directly, host, there are precedents set in court for that exact thing, to where in the court of law in the United States of America, when it comes to the
answer your question
sentencing
directly, and I go on a whole ass tangent.
The host asked me a question. The sentencing.
You said I'll answer your question directly, and you didn't answer it directly.
Okay, just let him finish.
The sentencing of an individual found that was convicted of a crime, judges will literally take everything you said into account before they sentence you.
Duh,
that's how the judicial system
works. What kind of
you
nothing burger ass argument?
So host, as a regular everyday person, there's certain things that we don't tolerate, right? We don't tolerate rapists. We don't tolerate, we don't like people who beat on women. We don't do that. But in the court, in the eyes of the law, in the court of law, when the judge is giving you that sentence, they will consider those. They're asked to.
But
It's a precedent.
But this is the problem, right? I'm not talking about how legal, because yes, the court would do it. I'm talking about, what, us as individuals, we have to see that, what, there's a certain point where accountability matters. As a child, it's understandable, right? You can't control it, right? But now as an adult, you are accountable for your actions in life, right?
Absolutely.
And the exact same thing. I don't discredit the past of the Black community. I don't discredit. America does have an ugly history.
But now
as an adult,
affect us in today's
but now as an
society.
adult,
Like
it's not an excuse.
Accountability.
It's not an excuse. I'm sorry. Right? It's not an excuse.
Right.
It's not what's stopping you from getting a job.
Excuse, but
you literally
you're
are the
saying
whole
it's
time.
an
You're saying it's an excuse, right? You're using
you're
as an
saying it's
excuse.
an excuse.
Why can't this happen? Why can't that happen? Right? You're using it as an excuse, and you can't see it, right? Because you are shackled to it. You're shackled to the past.
The financial disadvantages definitely do affect.
You're
the Black
still
community.
using it as an excuse.
Financially
Oh my lord,
insufficient, it's going to affect you. I'm confused. You're saying that. Hold on, I'm not done talking.
Poverty affects everybody. Poverty affects everybody. I'm sorry.
You're the lowest IQ person I've ever met.
You're saying that because Asians had a historical advantage because of what? Two generations? 2 generations after what happened?
What historical advantage? Wait, host, can I mention something?
2 generations after what?
Your host, can I mention something? No one ever talks about Asian discrimination and how.
What 2 generations?
I'm speaking to the host. I'm trying to ask.
What 2 generations?
Okay, come, your host.
Last time
guys, wait.
I checked.
Oh my days, come
Guys,
again.
stop,
Can I speak?
slow.
You're just making null and void arguments which contradict each other.
Talking. Like I was saying,
I'm not done talking. You should be done talking because you have retarded ideas.
Guys, okay, come on.
Let's speak. In fact, let's speak.
You're basically saying that because had 2 generations and they're financially sufficient, right? That Black people have no excuse. I'm arguing the fact that you guys had advantages. You guys came into after the fact, after the segregation, after the discrimination, after all of the discrepancies and disadvantages that Black people still have in today's society that having to do with them being financially unstable. First of all, God knows where y'all came from and what business
like a whole lot of excuses.
Y'all started in your own hometown to have y'all financially stable when coming to America. I'm just confused on how it's still
then let me enlighten you.
You guys didn't have the same disadvantages as African Americans. So I'm confused how it's comparable.
Okay, then let me enlighten you.
Can I say something now?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, and I'll enlighten her.
It's really short. It's about how specifically how the Asian community was discriminated in America. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, a lot of Japanese Americans, a lot of Hawaiians were quite literally put into concentration camps. And now the Japanese, or it might have been the South Korean Americans, so I'm pretty sure they're still up there. They bring the most money into America and stuff like this. So Asians have also faced discrimination in America, but yet they have seemed to climb to the top of American society. We also know that Asians on average have the highest IQ in the world. It's just, or East Asians specifically. Notice how on average Black Americans, not Africans, specifically Black Americans, seem to score low on IQ scores and are the worst in society, whilst Asians score highly on IQ tests and are the best in society. Could you explain that correlation, or is it just going to say poverty, or use other excuses?
Before I want to continue that, right? Asian people did experience discrimination, right? This is why it was recorded where they were pushed into laundromats, jobs only for Asian people, right? We'll see that today. Laundromats, nail salons, Chinese food stores, all that, right? So Asian people did experience discrimination. They experienced hardships. Plus, you literally talk about redlining. Guess what Chinatown is? It's literally a red line community, right? So almost, I mean, again, exactly. I'm not saying the huge history that Black people experience, but again, the discriminations, the things that happen to the Black community is not synonymous just to the Black community, right? So what I said in 1, 2 generation, today, this generation, right, 1 or 2 back, right? So my mom or my grandma, like, no, not that far back like you guys, right? My grandma came from poverty. My mom came from poverty, right? But my mom worked out and she got established. This is the thing. No, poverty isn't exclusive to the Black community. Hardship isn't exclusive to the Black community. What is now exclusive is that victim mindset. Is that, oh my God, because of the past, this is why the Black community can't achieve. No, you are shackled to it. All other communities have shown you they can get out of poverty by working hard, by working smart. Okay? It is not rocket science. It is not rocket science. But the problem is, in my opinion, the Black community is the only community that shackled themselves to the past to make as an excuse for why certain parts of their community aren't achieving greatness, aren't being like, why is the Black community the lowest in education and attainment, right? I'm not saying that they're not doing well, but why they're the lowest in marriage rates, the highest in divorce rates, the lowest in abortion rates, right? I really don't want to.
IQ.
I don't really want to insult anybody, but the lowest in
It's not insulting, it's just true.
Yeah, but people will get triggered. But
yeah, it is just true. People get upset by it, but it's true.
But the lowest in individual and family income, right? And I'm sorry, your mom, yourself should not be saying racism is a problem, because all that racism isn't stopping you from gaining education. Racism isn't stopping you from destroying the single motherhood in the Black community. Racism isn't stopping you from stopping the violence, Black on Black violence. It's not stopping you from gaining education. Your boys should be gaining education. Your women should be gaining education, right? And because I'm not saying you guys specifically, but in general, you being shackled to, oh my God, the past this, the past that, right? It's just enabling. It's an excuse of, okay, why isn't this little Black boy in this community can't achieve the white man? Redlining, racism. No, because he is too lazy. His mom is not pushing him, or his mom didn't have it's not a 2-parent household. Shit like that because he's lazy is the problem.
Host.
And why do you think it's that? Like, are you serious? For you just gave it, bro. I'm confused. You just gave an example on how the mom not pushing him, exactly. The mom not pushing him towards education. The mom came from what? Generational disadvantages. So therefore,
single-parent household
it's going to affect the community. What are you talking about?
Single-parent household.
Hey, come and get it. Can I ask you a quick question?
Why is the Hispanic community? Why is the Hispanic community, right? Why is the Hispanic community can do it?
If the financial disadvantages affected us ultimately within the households and outside of the households, of course it is going to affect us furthermore.
God, I just said poverty is not exclusive to the Black community. Hispanic community experience it. Asian community experience it. But what's the difference, right?
No, you guys
it's 2-parent households.
So as much
you think
as
Asian people don't experience poverty? What are you talking about?
As Black people, as much as African Americans.
Show me the numbers. Show me the numbers that they don't.
Poverty more than average. Host.
Look,
do you know why Black people experience poverty more than often? It's because you see just lower IQ across the board. You see this only in Black American, like you will never see this with African immigrants.
Jaden,
specifically because
I
really don't want. We're all trying to be
because what Jaden is trying to push, right? What Jaden is, because what the host is saying and what you saying, Jaden, is two different things.
The host just gave an example how generationally it affects us today. Because
absolutely,
no, he didn't. Come and get it. Just shut up. You're too stupid to engage in this conversation.
But what
an intervention household affects a child ongoing. So of course we're not going to. Of course, when we have a systematic pressure pushed onto us generationally and in
systematic
society,
pressure pushed onto us. Nice one.
Can I just piggyback?
The pressure kind of indicates that.
Okay, let's let Levon talk. He hasn't talked for a while.
Just to piggyback, right? Because most of the things that we're discussing, come from, you can find it in statistics, right? You can find it in life and experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
What Jaden is saying is that Black people inherently have IQ issues or have low IQ.
Not Black people, African Americans.
And it prevents us from advancing and fixing the problem.
IQ differences,
right?
Exactly. That's what I believe. Yeah.
He's host. Come on. He's absolutely insane. Don't listen to him.
How am I insane?
But what I will
explain how I'm insane. No.
What I
provide
will
a counter argument and explain why I'm insane.
Jaden,
what I will like to say, host, is that when you're talking about things like accountability, right? When you're talking about things like Black people and their reasoning for where we are in America, we're talking about something that's pretty intangible. We're talking about something that you have to be in the community to realize how we deal with it. So I would say, host, that you might be misguided in the sense that you might think that, okay, a lot of Black people on TikTok panels or online, they absolutely do cop out and they say, "Yo, it's the white man's fault completely." I'm not gonna act like those people don't exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the black culture, real black culture, we don't sit in our homes and say systemic racism is the reason all of we're fucked. We don't do that. Black people hold each other accountable in ways that I don't think people actually truly realize. I
Yeah,
think
you know.
what's happening in today's time is black people are trying to improve ourselves, and we are improving ourselves, right?
Where are the
Our job
improvements to be seen at?
our unemployment rates are better than they were in the 1960s, right? Black
Same
women
with
are some of
everyone
the most
else's.
educated women in the country, educated people in the country.
Same
We're
improvements seen in
getting
every other group.
we're yo
Jaden,
Jaden, I'm not talking to you,
come
bro.
on. Let's
Like you a grown man trying to antagonize somebody
Yeah,
because
Because you're
I see
making
you.
Nurnberger
come on.
void
Let's
Jaden,
ass
not.
Jaden, I
statements.
see you for
Hey,
what you are, Jaden. Just know
Let's
that,
not.
bro.
Come
I
on.
see
Come
you.
on. Come on. It's okay.
you
Come on.
see me? Okay, what would you see me as then?
But
Jaden,
None of
Jaden,
void
what's
come on.
happening, host, is that black people are trying to get better. And in trying to get better, we're addressing and we're working through, okay, why is the world the way it is? Why is our communities why are our communities the way they are? And we're simply recognizing and pointing out how systemic racism has impacted us. But everyone always takes it as black people as a whole just want somebody else to blame. When in reality, as a black person who's been the blackiest black of his whole life, knows for a fact that we don't blame we're not trying to escape accountability. We're not. We're just simply saying, yo, the
Really?
white man created this system. The white man intentionally designed our urban cities to be a certain way. Because anybody who denies that urban planning is an intentional force is crazy. Chinatown is one of the most affluent places in Chicago, not because it was redlined, because redline means that, hey, we're gonna stop you from being able to get access to buy these properties and things like this. But
Nah, that's not what
Chinatown
redlining
is one of the most affluent communities in Chicago
Let
because
me. No.
that's how
No.
it
No.
was designed to
No. Let
be.
me.
No,
Let me.
it wasn't. Whoa,
Jaden, I
whoa,
wanted
whoa,
to
whoa,
I wanted to
whoa,
debunk
whoa.
something, right? So this is the thing where
Mhm.
if you don't realize, most of these Chinatowns, they don't own these buildings, right? They're renting it because you could see that there was a recent. I mean, there was a I think it was Washington or whatever, right? There was a Chinatown where they literally kicked out all the Chinese people, so Chinese people had to move, right? So a lot of these Chinatowns is a misconception that you think that they owned it. No, so they create it to be influenced, right? By circulating that money in that community. That's how they did it. They did it through hard work, not because they own these buildings, right? So again, this is why it's I think it's you still being shackled to, oh, it's the white man, because again, Asian people have one of the least amount of political power in the West, and yet they're making do. They're making it work, and that's the problem. You're saying
Can I add a
that,
point onto your
Jaden, go for it.
Yeah. Levon just said, well, he said a lot of contradictory things. He says black people don't make excuses and hold each other to accountable or whatever. And then immediately started making excuses on how city planning and how the white man and redlining has caused this. Levon also said redlining was specifically there to make the Asian community richer. And once you said that the Asians made themselves richer, Levon's like, oh yeah, I agree with you 100%, 100%.
Because that's not what I said.
Levon can't hold on to a same line of thinking because he's low IQ.
Hey, come on,
you will see this with not every
let's-
single black American,
I don't
almost.
I don't want to do that.
You're
right? Let's not-
Low
intentionally
IQ is
not
not an
listening.
insult. It's just an objective observation. It's just an observation. It's
You're
what I've
not
observed
listening.
from
Let's,
Levon.
You're
let's
not
not
listening.
let's not do that kind of observation.
He's just providing
right?
with more and more
Jaden,
evidence.
you're not listening because
better
I
off-
didn't say
What-
I didn't
let's-
say
let's-
redlining is the reason why
Yeah, I know.
Chinatown
That's
is
why.
doing
But
so
he's
well. I never said
yeah.
that.
But this is here. Let me
You
let me
kind of did.
let me.
You
Let
said
me
it was
continue.
built up for it to succeed.
Guys,
so
stop,
you
stop,
kind of
stop.
did.
Let's I want to continue it, right? This is the thing where, again, you're saying that the black community is doing better. To be honest, it's slight, right? It's very slight. I've done this study where during Jim Crow, the black community was actually doing better than any other community. Highest marriage rates, lowest divorce rates, growing economically. Now, after Jim Crow, right? Now the black community is in their most free time, the most equal time, highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, highest abortion rates, lowest economically. They're not. I'm not saying they're not doing okay, but again, they're still at the bottom of the economic totem pole, right? And in my opinion, it's that mindset, right? I believe right here, you also said you disagree with number 2. Feminism is killing it because it's a matriarchy. You have, again, there's no fathers leading this household. I think another leading stat that the Black community is leading on is that they have the highest single mother rates in all other communities, right? I'm sorry.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I'm sorry. No,
Why do you
it's
think
not
so?
even close.
Why do you think so, host?
Because you're picking terrible men. Right? Black women are picking terrible
black
men.
Women are just insufferable. I hear it. Black women are just insufferable.
It's just they're picking terrible men, right? They're picking terrible men.
We can't have a real conversation with Jaden president, bro. It's hard.
What do you mean you can't? You're telling me black women aren't insufferable?
Jaden,
black woman.
Jaden, my brother. I love you, right? But he's true, right? Let's. I'm sorry. I like the guy. I like the guy, but
Thank
it's like,
you, bro.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Because I can understand, okay, Jaden, you think black people in America are inferior. We know that, Jaden.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Stop cutting the conversation, though.
So like I said, right? This is a thing where I've seen it before, right? Feminism has hurt Black women. Black women have become intolerable in the sense that they're combative, they're aggressive, they're very masculine, right? So Black men, now that only attracts the terrible Black men who don't give a shit, right? That doesn't attract, leadership type Black men. That doesn't attract, wealthy or men that are growing in status. That doesn't attract the Black men that are doing better in life. That is why Black men like those are marrying outside of the Black community. It's showing a growing statistics where Black men are marrying outside of the Black community. I mean, it's not, again, still, Black people go with Black people. That's still a big rate, but it's a growing number, right? And again, that is feminism, right? Turning Black women into, honestly, women that are poisonous to Black men. So that's one thing. And I don't think that, in my opinion, the Black community as a whole is talking about it. Now, they're not talking about the white man. I agree with that. Because, to be honest, I live in a Black community, predominant Black city. They don't care about the white man from the day to day. The problem is they don't really hold their community accountable. Why? Because they don't shame the degeneracy in their community, not as a whole, right? I'm talking about as a whole. They don't. You protest. This is why I said this, right? It's the uneven outrage. You protest, you boycott, you riot when a white person kills a Black person, but you should do 1,000 times more when a Black person kills a Black person, because that happens 10,000 times more. All right? That's why you
interject, please. Can I interject, please?
Go ahead.
All right. So I noticed you got a lot of things misconstrued, host, and I don't know if I have an echo in the background, but just let me know if you hear it.
No.
I apologize if you do. But like I was saying, so I want to cut to the first thing you stated, or the first thing that I noticed when you saying, that feminism is the key to is the downfall of the Black man. Not true in all honesty, because we know for a fact the world has been always run by patriarchy, and there's only wars, genocide, all these different things were set up by men. Now, I'm not saying that women don't participate in the downfall, or women aren't don't have their flaws to play. I'm not blaming only men, but I'm saying that when there's a creator of something, when there's when you know who the creators of life are, when you know who the creators of society is, well, then you know who to attribute the blame to. And the blame goes to the men, not women. Women have no control. Like you said Black people have no power. Well, women have no power because men have more power than women. And that goes for any race. So let's cut back to everything. I noticed what the host did was is there an echo?
No,
my fault.
Continue.
Oh, I apologize if you hear an echo. But like I was saying, when it comes to the Black people, when it comes to the Black people, you're saying, Black people don't big ourselves up and we don't hold ourselves accountable in X, Y, and Z because Black people always fight Black people. And you know what? I admit that Black
before
people,
you go to the next subject.
Hold on, no, because what I'm about to say.
No, I want you to finish your first topic, right? The first point you made, right? Talking about how men against women. I don't discredit that. Yes, wars or whatever, but that's a fallacy. Men created the cities, the nations we're living in comfortability, right? So there's bad and good to both communities, right? There's bad and good to everything, right? So this is the thing where we are living in civilization, civilized right, nation because of men, right?
Yes, and I get where you're going. Host, I know what you're saying. Host, I know what you're saying, and I understand your point, but this is why I asked to speak so you can understand mine. So please let me finish. I get that you're saying the whole that it's men men created the cities, and what you're doing is you're looking for ways to make them seem like what is going on. You heard what you said when you just answered. You said wars and you excluded it. You said it like that's something so niche, so nuanced.
You
the reason why things
no, you can't.
The
no,
reason
you can't
why
say something
these things,
I did, yet you do the same thing. You only pointed
you
to the negative.
nuanced. What negative?
Wars. You're not pointing
exactly,
to
and I'm saying you
so much.
You bypassed the war. You said wars, and you bypassed it. Like
you did
that's
it.
not a prevalent.
But you only pointed to the negative. Yes, you only pointed to one thing. Yeah, you negate. Men created medicine.
You're not even letting me talk.
Because we're doing point by point, right? We're doing point by point. You're talking about how men did this, right? How you're propping up women. I'm not saying that women are terrible, right? But I'm saying that it is the best when men are in leadership. Men are leading.
That's not true, because you have never seen a time. You just said we know all through history men have been the leaders and the creators of everything. How do you know life would have been better if women were in charge? You see, you're speaking from headcanon.
But women can't be in charge. That shows you.
How do you know?
It shows you that naturally women can't be in charge. How can tell me how are women able to be in charge? How can women be able to in charge? Tell me.
They're human beings the same as you.
How are women able to get to be in charge? Isn't that because men have to give it to you?
They're more logical beings. They don't start wars over words. They don't go out of their way to massacre and genocide and then say, you know what, it's for this reason. Because if we've seen that, you would give me an example one time of it happening, host.
Because they're not able to.
Give me one time?
They're not able to.
Because
women are not able to.
Thank you, you're proving me right. Host, you're
so
proving
they're not
me right.
good. They're not good enough
host,
to.
You're proving me right.
They're not good enough to.
Every time you respond, you're making my case stronger. So let me finish so you can understand. If the men created everything and they made it so that the world runs the way it world, they created all. I'm not saying men didn't create good, but the majority of bad happens because men are in charge, and we know this. And we've never seen a case where women were in charge and they've messed up the world or started genocide or wars or raped and done it the way men have done it. How can you, with a real straight face, say it as a claim that you know men would be a better a leader than women, when we know that men fight wars based off of words? They don't talk it through. They don't have conscious back and forth. They will fight and murder an entire family, women included. Name a time where that has happened on the back end, host. If you can give me one time, then I'll say I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. So if I can prove to you, right, per capita,
yes,
women have started more wars, you will admit that you're wrong.
Tell me a war that was started because of women, that the woman said, we fight and we die the way men do it. We're going to fight and we're going to die to take out this and X, Y, and Z. That's what the men say. Tell me a time where that's happened. I'll concede that point to you.
Okay. Let's look up the stats. Let's look up the information, right? Because
not stats. I want to know a war. I could tell you the Civil War was started by the white man. I could tell you World War I, World War II was started by men. I could tell you all these different wars across the globe were started by men. Give me a war that was started because of women, where women initiated the strikes.
Okay.
Is this temporary? Is this about
a major study of European monarchies that found that queens were about 27 to 39% more likely to engage in war than kings. Married queens were especially likely to be as aggressors. Unmarried queens are often more attacked.
Bro, you just brought up nothing. You didn't name a war. World War I was started by men.
Do you think that every single war has a name to it? Do you think that every single war has a name to it? You named three.
So name period.
Name me three. I just gave you a time period. I just gave you a time period, right?
Statistic that had no relevance.
1480, right? 1480 to 1913.
Women do it. But
do you see this? You see this? Like I gave you evidence. And you can't even agree to it.
What evidence? You pulled up a site where it says queens did more killing and genocide, but you can't tell me one war. King Louis said
not every single war has a name to it.
Give me a queen's name. Tell me a queen that initiated this. Tell me a queen that went out her way to start the war. Because if we could get the queen's name, or we could get if it's a queen, I could tell you a king. I could tell you King Louis the 16th, King Louis the 14th. They've started wars. They've led people to their deaths. Give me an example. Don't bring up a statistic say women did it. Tell me what women. I gave you an example of one man. You give me one woman.
Queen Elizabeth the First. Queen Elizabeth the First.
And what war was that? What did she do?
Again, you asked me to name wars. Not every single war has a
Tell
name
me
to
what
it.
she did. If you're gonna bring up Queen Elizabeth, it's supposed to be written next to it what she was known for. And if she did anything tyrannical or genocidal, that would be implied. That would be said there. You're looking everything on Google, so you should be able to find this. You're the one on the laptop, not me. Show me.
Maria Theresa of Austria defended her rights to the Habsburg throne through the major multi-state war of Austrian secession and later the 7-Year Wars.
Defended her
1717.
So you're basically saying
so
she
really
didn't go
that's
out of her
not
way to
so that's
attack.
not
She
so I
defended.
literally gave you something and now you're trying to
No,
say
you
that's
didn't.
that,
You gave me. You just said.
I gave you a name.
You
I
just
gave
said
you I
she-
gave you a name. I'm giving you a year, right? And now you're
Okay,
saying that's
give
still
me-
not good enough.
You just said she defended. I asked you, tell me a time where a woman started. If you just said that in the
Multi-state
thing,
war. Multi-state
you just said
war.
she defended against it. You just said, read it again. Let them
Okay,
hear it.
so the men that
Read it
defended
again.
during those wars, right? You said World War One. There were men that defended, right?
No,
but
but men started it. Men started and men defended it. World War II, men started and men defended
if you're
it. World
doing
War III, that's
secession,
coming
if
up.
you're doing a secession, right? A secession war, right? So where you're trying to be the leader, you don't mean that you're not contributing or you're not maybe starting that war because you want to be the leader.
If a secession means someone was trying to take you from the throne, so you're trying to keep power, meaning they came
That's
to
the
you
thing,
to
right?
start the war.
You're
Are
just-
you not knowing the context?
You're just no. This is why I'm not dealing with your pigheadedness because I literally gave you where
That's
women
insult me. That's the level of low
being
IQ.
pigheaded.
Why are you
being
insulting me?
pigheaded?
We're
You
having a
are being
debate.
stubborn. You said okay.
that
I will
involves you
admit
to
that I'm
insult me?
wrong if you prove to me that women do contribute
Start
to these
wars.
things.
No, you.
So let's start wars.
Say
Okay.
it. Start wars. Tell me what time we're not defended. I said start because we know all through history men have started all the wars. Yeah, they defended, but they've started it. Tell me a time where women have went out their way to start a war. You're looking for a nuance to try to make yourself seem right, and I'm saying it correctly. That does not happen. I know you're not gonna find it. So how can you make a claim? So how can you make the claim and say that you know women can't lead when they've never led, and all through history, men have been the cause of all the destruction, even though it's been some good, but the destruction and turmoil and wars came from men. You can't say this. You're stating it like a claim too, like you know. So you shouldn't even have to look it up. You should have already had it. If you're saying it like you know.
Okay. Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister of India, initiated the 1970 Indo-Pakistani War, which led to the creation of Bangladesh. Margaret Thatcher, right, Prime Minister of the UK, ordered the military response that started the Falkland War in 1982 after Argentina invaded the islands. Catherine the Great launched multiple
After
wars
she
of
was invaded.
expansion. I'm naming you other shit, right? Catherine the Great launched multiple wars of expansion, including the Russian-Turkish Wars. Queen Zambia of Palmyra led aggressive military campaigns that conquered Egypt, large parts of the Roman East, sparking war with Rome. Queen of Iceni led a major revolt and war against Roman rule in Britain around the 60 AD. There's also others too. So, do you concede?
You just said led the war.
Name other
We're
things.
not hearing you. Yo,
Margaret Thatcher ordered military
Can you
response
talk?
that
Can I
started the
talk?
Falkland Wars. I gave you other response. Do you concede?
Okay, who started the?
Do you
She
concede?
started they started the war.
Started? I just literally
Or
said
led the
these
war.
women started the wars. Right?
What
Indira
war?
Gandhi initiated the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War. Do you concede?
No, I'm gonna look it up the same way you're doing, and then I'll come back.
Okay, fine. Leave on.
So wait, are you guys debating?
I'm sorry. I mean, he went to the feminist shit. So I mean, he went further off topic with the women and men thing. But,
Well, I think within the Black community, right? I think the matriarchal point is valid, right? I think people think though it means one thing when it means another thing, right? Black families are matriarchal not necessarily because
Bossman,
black.
let me interject real quick. Let me just debunk him real quick, Bossman. I'm so sorry, real quick. The Queen Zenobia that you looked up, it's not Queen Zambia, it's Queen Zenobia. Queen Zenobia only started the war because her country was being taken over, meaning men were trying to take over her country. So she started a war to help fight back against it. That's defense. That's not going out of a way to start a war for no apparent reason, as in World War I, World War II, Civil War, all these other different wars.
Indira Gandhi. Again, man. Indira Gandhi. Do you concede?
All right, let me come back. No, I'm gonna do my research and come back.
Go for it. Go for it. All right.
So what I was saying was we're matriarchal in a sense where it's not because men aren't present in the homes. You know what I'm saying? You can do a quick Google and see that. I Googled it and it says 70% of co-residential black fathers bathe, dress, and help their kids every single day versus 60% of white fathers and 45% of Hispanic.
I agree, right? Black fathers are the most active fathers, but those are the ones that are you see, this is the stat is that it compares the most active people, right? Active fathers to active fathers. It's not comparing fathers to fathers. So
I got you.
So that's the misconception. I agree, right? For active fathers, black men are the most active fathers, and I've touted that stat, right? I've touted how amazing, good black fathers are. They go above and beyond than other fathers. The problem isn't that there's no good black fathers, right? The problem is that there's not enough black men in these black families. There's not men leading these families. It is women, right? There are clear facts that the majority of single parents in the black community is mothers. It's mothers, right? And they have the highest single mother rates. Again,
do you think because I think, right, being a deadbeat dad is a horrible thing, right?
Yes.
We both can agree on that.
Yes.
Do you think there's any external factors that are due to black men being
what was the name of that? Oh, something Gandhi? My fault, brother.
Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India. You can call Catherine the Great as well. Margaret Thatcher. Continue, Levon. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, do you think there are any other, besides horrible men being deadbeat dads, do you think there are any other external influences in why there's more single mothers in the black community?
I've said this. I love the black community, right? But I think it's the mindset, right? They don't value marriage. They don't value. Again, I'm not really religious, but there was a time when the black community was very religious. They value marriage. They value family. Now they are one of the least religious groups, right? They walked away from religion. So in turn, they don't really care about marriage. Right? You see it in how the black community acts. They value, let's have a kid, but they don't value, let's have a union, right? Let's have a family. They don't value it. So there's no value in marriage. There's no value in commitment. And actually, you know what? Let's have a long-term commitment. Let's create a family.
So you're basically saying it's lack of traditional values.
Correct.
Indira Gandhi is not one as well. She never started a war. Pakistan invaded her country and bombed her while she was taking in refugees. So she then led them toward freedom, which then resulted in a war. That wasn't her starting a war. That was self-defense. What's another person you said? Catherine the Great?
Self-defense? What are you talking about?
That was defense. She
initiated.
She took in refugees. Go read it. It says she took in refugees, and then the conflict of the war started because Pakistan bombed India, which is her country. So she then went and took up arms to defend the Pakistani refugees and her Indian country. You're not doing your research.
No. So see, this is the problem. This is the problem, right? So when a woman defends her nation, right, and started a war, that is not cool. When a man does it,
she didn't start the war. They bombed her.
She initiated the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War.
I'm gonna say it again. She didn't initiate anything. It says right now she took in refugees from Pakistan. The Pakistani military that didn't want those refugees to go to India bombed her country with the Pakistani refugees. She then told her Indian people to take up arms and defend themselves against the male military that was trying to invade her, thus causing a war. She didn't start a war. If they didn't bomb her country when she was just trying to help other people, she wouldn't have fought in that war. It says it verbatim. So who else do you want me to look up? Catherine the Great?
Yes, go for it.
All right, go ahead.
Levon, go and continue.
So for me personally, right, there's to me there's multiple external factors, and I think Black people's traditional values, right, it's something that in the year 2026 a lot less Black people possess, a lot less people in general, right, in my generation possess traditional values, right. I think there should be credence given to the human experience that.
I'm so sorry, boss man. Yo, let me just done him real quick, bro. Let me done him real quick. Catherine the Great, it says right now, it says if you look at all three of her wars, because it says she fought multiple wars, all three times that she's fought in the wars, she has been invaded. She was invaded when they invaded her. And then she decided to expand Russia. They invaded her again, and then she decided to do again. They invaded her. It says all three times she was invaded. All three times on her land in Russia, which then made her take up arms, fight back, win, and grow her territory. It wasn't her seeking
let me try to
let me
debunk you,
finish.
right?
Let me finish.
No, because this is the problem, right? This is the problem you're not thinking, right?
Seeking a war.
Stop, right? This is the problem you're not thinking, right? This is why I'm sorry you are being disingenuous and low IQ, right? Again, if men defend, right? You only focus on the men that's attacking, right? You only focus on the men that are attacking.
Because women don't attack. That's my whole point you're making. Women don't attack. Men do. Even though men defend,
this is the problem. This is the problem, right? If you are increasing your reach, your nation, right? Right? You're increasing the reach of your nation. You are conquering. You are conquering. Right? Defense is you defending. You walking away. A lot of these leaders, they're increasing their territory.
Well, what a way it says she didn't seek increasing of her nation. They invaded her after the war. She took what was the war winnings and it increased her nation. She didn't seek to increase her nation. Men do that.
This is why you have a hard time understanding, right? Right? You have a hard time understanding. You do have a hard time understanding, right? This is the thing where it's part of the human nature, right? It's part of nature where, you know what? If you can't conquer, you'll be conquered. That is why women.
That's not even human. Nothing on earth conquers.
Animals literally kill other animals.
Yeah, right? But they don't start wars.
But they conquer territories. They take territories.
One animal that has made another animal go extinct.
Go extinct? What are you talking about?
Yes.
I'm talking about they conquer territories.
Men genocide. Men make other men go extinct. Men wipe out cities and countries.
Name me the race that men made to go extinct. Name me the race men made to go extinct.
The race that men
make people go extinct. Go.
The Anunnaki.
Tasmanians.
The what's this called? The early form of Neanderthals.
What are you talking about? Neanderthals? Serious?
That's a form of human. What are you talking about?
This is the thing where it's like
you're probably descendant of Neanderthals. I'm not even trying to make a joke. I'm being serious. So what are you talking about? They're human. They're just a different type.
If I'm a descendant of Neanderthals, then they haven't gone extinct, have they?
Yes, they have. You're now a new breed, a mixture of Neanderthal and Homo sapien.
They evolved.
What are you talking about? That's
evolution too.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Like when you evolve something, you're no longer that, right? Or you're not, or they.
But you still have its parts, and you're made up of it.
But then that's why
they made the pure Neanderthals go extinct. What are you talking about? I can name other races and things like that. They've gotten rid of certain African cultures, certain other cultures as well. What are you talking about right now? You're being disingenuous, and you're trying to make it look like war is just a part of life, and it's not. Because I know for a fact, if women were in charge, this wouldn't happen. The only time women go to war is to defend.
How would you know for a fact?
Because from the proof that you just brought up, all the women you named, and I just did my research on, it shows
none of those women, right? None of those women stopped wars. Defended. No, none of those women did not like you said. If women were in charge, wars wouldn't happen. Women were in charge, and still wars happen.
I didn't say wars wouldn't happen. I said we know from a fact women don't start wars. The only time a war would happen is if a man wants to encroach on the women's country or nation, which has been shown with every example you just named.
But see, that shows you the point, right? Starting wars, right? And even if you're defending, you're still starting a war. It's still starting a war.
How is it starting a war if I attacked you? I didn't start anything if someone attacks me. If someone attacks me and I defend myself,
that doesn't necessarily mean a war, right? If someone attacks me, that doesn't necessarily mean a war, right?
If they bomb your country and multiple people die, all you have to do is defend yourself because they'll keep doing it again. You're making it sound
and then
like
you start
the
a
only way
war.
to defeat a
And
bully
then you
is to
start a
walk away.
war,
The
right?
way
And
you
then you
defeat
start a
bully
war.
is to engage
That is the
bully.
start of a
The way
war,
you
right?
defeat, what are you talking about?
That is the
way
start of
you
a war, right? I mean, like, I'm
No,
sorry.
it's
Do you not
not.
understand
The
what a
start of
war
the war
is?
was when he bombed her. The
That
start of
wasn't
the
a
war was
war.
they
When he bombed her, that wasn't a war. Right?
Yes, it was.
I mean,
Yes, it was.
technically, like I get what you're trying to say, host, right? But we can't just because
being disingenuous.
you attack me, right? And my defense is to declare war on you. That doesn't mean that I started the war.
It doesn't mean
it actually
because
I don't know
you
if we're
didn't
getting
do
lost
that's-
in semantics.
But again, he's using the semantics, right? He's like,
No, I'm not.
women never
I'm speaking
started a
vague.
war. That is the start of a war.
It's not. The start of the war was the initial strike. The start of the war was the first thing leading the effect to be war. The start of the war is the cause. Who caused her to seek Queen Catherine to go out her way to go to war? The people that invaded her. She was invaded. And then she decided to defend herself. Then you call it war. Once she defended herself, that's what you call war. But she didn't start a war. She never went out of her way to. They never go out of their way to. So now you have to prove to me, when does women go out of their way to start war? They start the first bomb. They go out of their way to hurt a First Nation. They go out of the way to that never happens. Even with all the queens you named, it all showed that they retaliated. They didn't initiate. Do you know the difference between the two?
Yes, but that's not the thing with
Okay,
the
then,
war.
so that means you agree with me. So
That's
let's
the
move
point.
on.
No, that's
Women
not the
don't
point of the
start
war.
wars. You're trying to look. You see how you're trying to leave on. You hear this? This is why I even told you don't even engage with people like this, because he's talking about the black community and he's not even black. And when you try to enlighten him on it, he goes out of his. He's using a computer.
You're not enlightening me on it. You're not enlightening me on it.
Evidence and you're wrong. How you bring up the evidence and I do research on the evidence you brought up and you're wrong on everyone.
Wrong. You literally said, did women start war? I gave you evidence that women start war. You didn't say, oh, did women initiate?
No, you didn't say that. You didn't show me.
You said,
leave on,
did
leave
women
on.
start wars?
Leave on. Did he show me any evidence that women start war?
I haven't heard any.
Thank you.
I
So
literally
that we're
gave you
done here.
multiple names that women starts wars.
Leave on. Have you heard one that I haven't debunked?
But
Leave on.
You giving context?
I haven't heard it.
You giving
have-
context
look,
does
you
not
have two people
debunk
on your
it.
panel saying you're wrong. What are you talking about? Now it's time for you to go do the research and pull up the laptop that you're using and show me. Show me a woman who has started war. Until then, you can't make the claim saying that you know men are better leaders, because men cause the downfall of other men and women and children. They own, they create, and they destroy. Women are just effects of such things. Tell me the time where it wasn't the case, and I concede. And you research on it. Don't just bring up no reading thing, because I deep dive on every person you just spoke about, and all of them shows retaliation. No starting of it.
Which is why I think the point that we should bring back the patriarchy is not the solution.
It's
because
we
patriarchy
need a
intrinsically
union
hurts.
between the two. If we're not gonna have matriarchy and patriarchy, then we just need matriarchy. I would rather live in a world where I don't have to worry about a bomb dropping the way Queen Catherine that you brought up did when they bombed, not Catherine, and Gandhi, Indira Gandhi. They bombed her country. Pakistan bombed her country. She had to retaliate. I don't want to live in that world. Men bombed her, so she had to retaliate, and you're calling it her fault. You see the world we're living in? He's saying it's her fault for retaliate. Why should I live in that? I would rather live in a world full of women. And I thought we were all straight men. We should love having women in charge. But you see how easily the men go out their way to say we need a patriarchy, even though we're already living in a patriarchy all through human history?
Do you know that, you know what? This is why you don't give clear context, right? So Indira Gandhi, right? Prime Minister of India, intervened in the conflict between East and West Pakistan. She intervened.
By taking in what? By doing what?
That's not a
By taking in
she
refugees.
intervened in someone
She didn't
else's
start a
thing.
war.
That was not defense.
Levon, listen,
that was not
Levon,
defense.
he's
You
holding
literally
out information
you
to make
literally
himself seem correct.
I'm literally showing you. It's not defense. She didn't defend herself. She intervened.
By taking in refugees. I already said
Intervene
this.
how?
How did she intervene?
She intervened in Pakistan, right? She
How?
intervened
What
in
did she
West
do?
and
What did
East
she do to be
Pakistan.
clarified as war? What did she do to be classified as war? Let me hear
You
it.
intervened in the conflict between West and East Pakistan.
Oh, what
They
she
weren't
did?
attacking-
What she
they
did?
weren't
By doing what?
attacking. They weren't
By doing
attacking
what?
India.
Yes, they were. They were attacking each other. And
Yes.
she let in refugees to help them so that they don't have to die by the hands of men. The Pakistani men were killing Pakistani men and children so they came to our country.
Okay, see. You just said that what women started war without being defending. She didn't defend herself. She intervened.
She didn't start a war though, so
That
regardless,
was a
even if she
war.
intervened,
The
she didn't start a war. She took in refugees.
She started
They
that.
bombed her.
No,
They
retaliated. They retaliated when she intervened in someone else's business.
Let me ask you a question. Host, let me ask you a question.
See, this is why when you dig in deeper, right? When you dig in deeper, you see the flaws in it. You just said what war did women didn't start, right? Without defense.
What war
did she defend herself?
She didn't start a war.
She intervened in someone else's business.
How is that starting a war?
And then people retaliated, right? Because she interfered.
So they
defended.
So wait, if you're abusing your sister and I let your sister come to my home so she can be okay, and then you come to my home and bomb it, did I start something with you?
If we were abusive to each other,
answer the question. Host, I gave a scenario. You don't have to revise it. This is literally what we're talking about.
Right. It's a war between it's a battle between another nation, right? They were doing themselves.
I'm gonna ask you again, host. I'm gonna ask you again because you're trying to diverge, and I'm gonna ask this to Levon as well. If you're abusing your sister, and I tell your sister come here so you're good, and I let her come to my home so she's good, and you bomb my house, did I start problems with you? Yes or no, host?
If you went into my house, right, and interfered in my business,
let no one in her house. Don't do that. The queen let it. No,
if you went into my house, you see me hugging my dick on the couch, bro.
The queen let in refugees.
She must have been on my sofa.
She didn't go to their home. She didn't go to their home.
She interfered in someone else's
white
business.
feather campaign.
She didn't go to their home. She let people in their home.
White feather campaign. How do you explain that?
Tight shit, man. How you explain that, man?
Yeah, I'm talking to the host. The host has a question to answer.
You can't explain that, man.
Tim.
Yeah, I'm not answering questions until my questions are answered.
Campaign?
I don't know who you guys are, and I was already having a conversation with the host. No disrespect, but the host, I'm answering your question. If I go to your house and I grab your sister, if you're abusing your sister, and I tell your sister come to my house so you're protected, and you come to my house and bomb me, did I start a war with you?
Yes or
no?
You interfered.
Host? I did.
Yes, but Tim, you're being obtuse because you're isolating things.
That's a legitimate factor of what happened with Queen Gandhi. Queen Gandhi let refugees in, and they bombed her for it. So it's her fault?
Yes. Why is she interfering in other people's nations?
Because she's a woman with a human soul. She's not no man who thinks about war and genocide every day. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
She decided to help people. And you're saying that because they bombed her, it's her fault?
That is, she literally didn't stop.
You think with this, right?
So help people, right? Tim. Because of her actions, now she included her nation into this conflict.
What?
So really, she included her nation into. Now she would kill millions of others. Now she would kill hundreds of thousands of others.
She would?
Literally, a war kills other people.
Levon, are you black, bro?
Yes, sir, Black American.
Yo, bro, do you hear this shit that we go? Let me excuse my language. Do you hear what we're going through, bro?
Yeah, I hear it.
Like, do you hear what this man is saying? You and I gotta share a life on this globe with someone who thinks like them, yo.
Tim.
Yeah, this is why I'm tired of your victim mentality.
Provide an actual counter.
Always a perpetual victim, right? This is why I'm. You know what? Yeah, certain men shouldn't lead because they're weak.
And if I'm a victim, you're always the cause and the initiator.
You know what? Winners make the rules. Winners make the rules then.
You know, if you're the
victim and I'm the initiator, well, I'm the winner. Right?
You see that? Exactly. Levon, look what he just said. I mean, see what he's saying, Levon? He's a Neanderthal at the soul.
Neanderthal is slow. There's no violence in this, right?
He only cares about war and conquering. He doesn't care about.
I never said I cared about it, right?
He's not a human.
Literally, I didn't care about it. I disproved your mindset, right?
I think that humanity.
Levon, I implore you to leave, bro. Do not put up with these people. They are not human the same as you. If you're a Homo sapien,
okay. I'm like, this is a thing where
I don't understand why they talk about they're not human. Like, these guys want quite literal cattle to pick cotton. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Come on, this is a thing where
you see Jaden the lame. Like, Jaden, you so corny.
Jaden the lame is true.
Host, I do think a lot of the times, right, when people are discussing the things wrong with the Black community, there's a way in which humanity is not considered. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear my white fellow Americans all the time talk about how the government is too influential in the lives of everyday Americans, or that
I agree.
they
We
make
should have less
decisions
government.
that, right? All of the conspiracies always exist, but not when it comes to black people for some reason.
But this,
and I think that's a lack of humanity.
Thing, right? That you think that it's a target. They target the poor. They target the lower class, right? This is a problem where no one disagrees that, you know what? Yes, the government, we should have less government control, right? I hate overtaxing. I hate that shit. But that's universal, right? White people complain about it, Asian people complain it, black people complain it. But yeah, it's only black people that, you know what? You go for the race.
Leaders. They killed them all.
But black people
it's true. They
black
did target the black
aren't
community.
saying black people aren't saying that other people don't go through things. Let me give you a quick example, host. Let me give you a quick example of how racism impacts white people. There's a medical, in the medical industry, there's a common phenomenon, I'll say, and this has been admitted by medical professionals. You can look it up. That doctors assume that black people have a higher pain tolerance, right? I'm sure you've heard this.
I heard that.
This is one of the contributing factors to why less black people receive opioids during the pre-existing, like leading up to the opioid epidemic. And this is why black people disproportionately. This is why black people disproportionately at that time were involved less with opioids. You see, like something as small as that can have a huge
CIA crack.
Here's my thing where let me rebuttal that, right? I'm not saying that at a point in time that mindset may be racist. I'm saying today it's ignorance, right? Because most during these times, right? Most professional doctors were white. Of course, they have preconceived notions because they weren't maybe, treating the black community that way. But that's the thing where at a certain point we need to just take a step back, right? And see that, you know what? It's just ignorance. You don't know, right? There weren't enough doctors or enough black doctors or whatever, right? Enough doctors that treat people thinking like that, right? And they have these I've said this countless times before. I don't disagree to the past, right? The past is very ugly. What I disagree with is holding on to it, right? Holding on to it. That's what I disagree with, right? Because that just perpetuates this victim mindset. It's like, racism is this, racism is that. No. How about you make that change? You get the education, gain that PhD, be that doctor that you know what will make that change, right? Do it.
But if they do change, that means they'll have to take accountability. And black Americans don't want to take accountability, so they will remain in the exact same spot. You guys just want someone to blame for your problems.
I'll give you another example, host. Host, do you know who Henrietta Lacks is?
Jaden, love you, but I'm trying to finish this up, okay?
Host, do you know who Henrietta Lacks is?
No.
So Henrietta Lacks was a woman. I want to say she was born in either the 1920s or like right before World War I or 1930s, around there somewhere, right? But in the 1950s, she went to a hospital. I can't remember why. I read her book and everything. When she went to she went to Johns Hopkins Hospital, right? World-renowned hospital at the time, still is. What they did was they took her cells, they took samples of her cells, and they noticed that even though she was sick, her cells had this special ability to essentially regenerate or survive in extreme conditions. And so they found that her cells, specifically that woman's cells, they were able to study them and use them to solve other diseases and things like that, right? If you look up the case, and I can't remember in every single detail, but if you look up the case, you'll find that she experienced a deep amount of medical racism. To this day, the medical industry still uses her cells. They're called HeLa cells, right? From her name, Henrietta Lacks, HeLa cells. Okay. To study diseases. They used it to study and figure out the vaccines for COVID-19.
How's that racism?
No, the fact that the way they got her cells, right, the way they used and studied her cells, I cannot remember the exact details. That was medical racism, right? Wow. Because it wasn't with her consent, and it was the way they treated her. You said what?
They captured her?
No, they didn't literally kidnap her or anything. But you have to look up the details whenever you can. Like whenever you get off
I'm
of
not.
this
I'm just
live,
saying.
just look it up.
How do you make the claim that it's racist? That's what I'm talking about. What do you make? How do you make the basis of the claim it's racist? Because I mean, we do agree that, you know what? If so, like hypothetically, if someone has, like, if I have the cure to cancer in my body, right, the blood or whatever, is it racist that doctors use my blood to now study how to do that? Is that racist? I'm trying to understand the basis of your claim it to be racist.
So what I'm saying is, so what they essentially did was they took samples of her cancerous cervix, right, from her without her consent. The fact that they were able to do that without her consent was because of racism, was because Black women didn't possess the political or lawful agency for them not to do so at the time.
So you believe that if it was a white person, they would not do the same thing?
It's not impossible, right? But it's far less likely that they would steal tissue from her, right? And that they would sell that tissue worldwide, and that they would make profit billions and millions of dollars from that. It's less likely. I'm not going to say it's impossible though.
But I mean, okay, you got to have some evidence that it's like less likely. We see that all the time, where people would, you know, organ harvest whoever, right? A white person, Black person, doesn't matter, whoever they get their hands on. So you see that people would do it regardless. This is the thing where I'm not like I don't understand, right? It's the problem is that the Black community sees everything through a racist lens, and like, it's at the end of the day, right? Just like the law, you have to prove that it is that, right? You have to prove that, you know what? If it was a white person, they wouldn't have done this. But that's, in my honest opinion, that's dishonest, because they would, right? If they found that, okay, this white person had, I don't know, they had the cure to cancer in their blood, and you think that they wouldn't try their best to get it? I think it's not true at all.
What you're saying is logical. It is. You just said the most logical thing I can ever think, but it's not a humanist thing to say, because it wouldn't be realistic for me to say, hey, if someone say, hey, Levon, a Black woman was admitted to a hospital in 1951, and she suffered extreme medical malpractice, right? And if someone said, do you think this was because of racism? For me to say no, I would almost have to be proven it's more beneficial, or it's more, to me, spiritually correct, right? And logically correct for you to say, yo, you have to prove that they didn't do it because they was racist. Well, you feel me? Because it's more likely that they did do it because she was a Black woman than it's not.
But here's the thing, right? We could look throughout history, right? There's a point in time where doctors didn't even clean their hands, right? Doctors didn't even clean their hands, right? So I could prove to you that it's more malpractice, that it's incompetence. I could prove that to you, right? Better than you can prove it's race, right? So I could definitely agree. It's probably incompetence. But for you to be able to prove that they did it specifically because it's a Black woman, that is the hardest to prove. I can prove to you it's malpractice. It's incompetence. That I can prove to you. How can I can't prove to you a negative, or I can't prove to you that how they felt. Right. I can prove to you their lack of abilities. That's what I can prove. And that makes more sense. Now, again, I'm not saying, of course, that maybe the individual thing that, yeah, maybe they hate Black people and they did that. It's not like I disagree with that, but it's like, we can't prove it, right? And my thing is that, let's prove shit, right? Let's prove shit, okay? Because let's say that, I don't know about you, but we're experiencing, right, with the Nolan Wells thing. I see so many videos, right? So many videos of Black people going around and seeing one Black person around white people, and they say, oh, are you good? Are you good, my brother? And it's like, you don't, it's like, you're not, it's like, you don't know what yes. So it's like, I'm not saying one case will prove everything. And that's the problem, right? You see one racist thing and you think that it's going to happen all around, right? So you see it through all that lens. And what I want is to take a step back and let's view character, right? Just like how we talked about the war shit, right? How about let's just view the character of a person. A man isn't born evil. A woman isn't born evil, right? A white man isn't born racist. A Black person isn't born whatever, right? You born a gender, a race, or whatever doesn't make you that, right? It's your character. It's who you are. Women have the capability of war. Men do it. But the thing is that men have also the strength so that they take charge. So we can't just say men are this, men are that, black people this, that. No, we're saying character. This is why I'm not targeting, or I'm not trying to say target, but I'm not targeting black people because of their race. I'm talking about the character. And the character that they're promoting, that's the problem. It isn't racism, isn't anything of that. It's the character, right? Me and you, we've talked about the marriage stuff. We talked about a lot of things, and it all boils down to character, right? Even the lack of tradition, that's character, right? And that's the commonality I want me and you to understand. This is why I actually love talking to you, right? This was an extremely fun conversation, in my opinion, right? I don't know if you felt the same way, but it was fun for me, right? Because I see we are at more of a intellectual equality, right? And that's why it was better to talk to you than you can see you're the last one here, right? So yeah, I just say it was enjoyable to talk to you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. And to respond to what you just said, right? But that is the trouble. That is the curse of racism. That is the curse of what black people have to go through, is that, and there's a psychological term I learned for this in college. I can't remember what it is, but with black people, when we encounter bad things in life, we have this dissonance because we don't know if someone is just an a-hole or a bad person, or if they're a racist person.
I agree.
Right? Because you can say, well, the Henrietta Lacks situation that I just brought up was a case of who knows if those doctors were racist or not, right? But then my reply to that would be, but host, the entire medical field of gynecology was found on unethical experiments on black women during slavery, you see what I'm saying? So the context of a black woman in medicine, right, malpractice, unethical treatment, the context of it is absolutely one of racism. But the reason why it's hard to prove, right, the reason why black people, even in court, right, or discrimination, if you're trying to file a lawsuit for discrimination, it's extremely hard to prove because it's a feeling. Racism is a feeling. It's a feeling that appears in life. And no matter what, it's always going to exist in this covert way in which there's always going to be a slim chance that people don't believe it.
You know how I wish that people would change their mind? Because we can see in Africa, right, where it's predominantly one race, you can see how black people would treat other black people. So in my opinion, we can both agree that there are terrible people in this world. Ignorant people, whatever, evil people. So at the end of the day, right, I've said this before. Do you believe that if we were one race of people, the whole world, do you believe that there would be no evil? Do you believe there would be no ignorant, terrible people in this world? Right? We wouldn't do terrible things to each other.
That.
Yes.
It would still be evil. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like, I get it. I'm not saying I don't understand your argument. It's that I always wish that we take a step back. This is why, again, number one, it's not a problem, right? Because again, terrible people has always been a thing, right? This is why I say it's not necessarily a problem. Racism itself is not a problem, right? Bad people is a problem. Bad people have always been a problem. But bad people will be a problem regardless of race. So this is why I always want to see us. This is the thing where I wish white people, black people, all of us just see each other as humans, right? If we segregate ourselves between race, that's just another layer, right? We segregate between poor, between we segregate ourselves so much, and that would add more. Thanks to these social contracts that we as humans created, right? So we're just creating things to separate us more, to divide us more. And
absolutely,
I'd rather take out one, right? I'd rather take out that one separation, and hopefully we can lessen it. That's my view. That's how I.
And unfortunately, it's going to take an alien invasion for that to happen, right?
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Literally, but white people created that system of race. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's evil. But some people's evil got a little bit more gas behind it than others. They put a little bit more spite. You know what I'm saying? And so
I agree.
And so this is where we are now, and everybody has their own way of dealing with it. And I think the more that people,
but I would say this, conversations like this is, I believe, helpful, right? Where we could talk, where we can intellectually talk, right? I mean, neither one of us attacked each other or did ad hominems. I think more like this is important, right? Whether we agree or disagree, come to some kind of common ground. I respect you. I like I said, I love this conversation. It was fun. So, it was good.
For sure. Me too.
But
Me too. I appreciate you.
yes, I hope we could do this more. But that's it for today.
I'll follow. I'll be back. You'll see me again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It was fun. Right, guys, I want to do more of this, right? Like I said, I promote a fun, respectful conversation, right? A fun or respectful, environment. So that is it for the TikTok. But yes, guys, if you could join my YouTube or whatever, it was fun. I loved it. This is a thing where, if you think I'm wrong, let's bring it on, right? I'm not trying to change your view, right? And hope maybe you could change mine, maybe not, but at least let's have a respectful conversation, right? So later, guys. Guys, YouTube, I love ya, right? Lenny, Jeremiah, Evil Eddie, I think Self-Made. What is up, my brothers? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the conversation? All right? What do you guys think? Self-Made, you might have some interesting point of views. All right? What did you guys think? Jeremiah, pro-racism sounds interesting. Jeremiah, you're crazy. I love it. I love it. Guys, you guys were amazing. Shit was fun. Shit was fun. I don't see how you do it. Again, right? When it comes, Lenny, when it comes to just respectful back and forth, that is great, right? With me and the last guy, right? That is fun. With all the other people, right? It's it gets annoying. It really does, right? Because let's say the one with the whole war shit, you are fucking dishonest. You're fucking disingenuous, right? I literally proved his narrative, right? Women don't start war. Whether you fight back or not, that really doesn't change that they started a war, right? There has been, I'm not saying all, because there's not that many, there hasn't been that many female leaders. But here's the thing, right? Let's be honest, right? About reality. For women to gain power, it has to be through men, all right? Women, let's say this, a war where men and men had power, a man is going to fight the other man to gain power. That is the war. That is war. That is nature, right? Literally, there's animals that gain territories. They have to kill that animal to gain that territory. That is fucking nature. It is nature to try to take over territories, right? Because resources are finite. Resources are finite. So you have to take over, right? Other people's resources to have it. This is why men like that are stupid. You live in a utopian world. Your single mother household has poisoned your fucking brain, right? Your single mother household has poisoned your brain. We don't live in a utopia. Women don't just gain power magically, right? You have to gain power on the backs of men. And men do that shit too, right? For you to keep power, right? For you to keep power, you have to fight for it. That is reality, right? That is reality. I'm sorry. You live in a utopia. You live in a made-believe world. People don't just gain power magically, right? They fight for it. They fight, they kill for it. It's just fucking, it's like sometimes that we negate the human experience, the human mindset, the human behavior, right? We think that war, men are terrible because men start wars. Are you fucking stupid? Right? Because if you have something and I don't have something, guess fucking what? I want to take that something because so I can have something, right? It doesn't fucking work like that. If you hunted a fucking wildebeest and I didn't, and I don't have anything, if I care about my fucking survival, I'm going to take it. That is fucking life. That is life. That is nature, right? If you have resources and I don't, I'm going to take it. That's how fucking shit works, right? I think it's so, I don't know. And that's the thing, right? Humans, men, right? Like Self-Made said, right? You don't have to take over. That's why world trade was invented. This is why men created a society where we can prevent wars, right? Where we can lessen it, right? Men did that. Men civilized the nation, civilized the world, right? Men did it. And again, just like this is the thing where, just like the whole thing where, where women don't understand protection. I'm sorry. You don't fucking live in a world without men. You don't live in a world without men. So you need men's protection. It's just plain and simple. You need men's protection because men keep other men in check, right? Men keep other men in check. This was fun, guys. I like these debates. I wish I could bring over to YouTube, right? I just don't get enough traction. Like, seriously, there was like the whole live, that whole live, 700 people were watching, right? The whole live, 700 people were watching. I don't get enough traction over in YouTube. It's like fucking, like, YouTube hates me. YouTube hates me. I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube hates me. And it's again, right? I'm not saying that men are angels. I fucking never said men are angels. But it's like, fucking, you don't understand reality, right? You don't understand reality. Yeah, are there terrible men out there? Fucking yes. A lot of men are terrible. But it's like, are you stupid? Right? It's like, do you think you live in a world where it's like you think that you live in a world, right, where there will be no terrible people. That's absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. Here's the thing, right? Let's hypothetically, if you live in a world where women control, right? Women are in control. But guess how they keep control, right? It's by controlling men, having an armed force of men, right? You need men to be your armed forces, not women. You need men to be your armed forces because guess what? What happens if men uprise? What happens? You think that you think that people would just be obedient, blindly obedient? It's fucking stupid. Yeah, it's like YouTube is like, I don't know. YouTube hates me. YouTube fucking hates me. Like, it really does not want to promote my shit. It does not want to promote my shit. So I was like, I don't really understand. Right? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being ridiculous, but I think I should be like well over like 50K. Maybe I'm crazy. I think I should be well over 50K followers. Maybe I'm crazy, right? I'm probably crazy. I guess I'm probably crazy. But I should get more, Yeah, they think they're Joan of Arc. Exactly. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry. You're living in a fairy tale. These women are living in a fairy tale. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You type so fast. But guys, it was fun. I thought it was fun. I hope you guys liked it. Hit send, then vanish. Where all my haters at? I was on TikTok, right? I use TikTok. That's where I was getting a decent amount of views. Self-made, exactly. This is why I don't cry about it. I love the people that follow me, right? I consider you guys family. Family and friends, right? This is what 100%. Yeah, YouTube is like, I don't know, but it is what it is. I love you guys. You guys are amazing, right? If your argument's real, then show what you mean. Where all my haters at? Bring your best, not your copy and paste. You say I'm wrong every single day. Yeah, YouTube took away my monetization, right? YouTube took it away. I'm going to reapply to it the end the end of August. Right? I have to reapply to monetization at the end of August. Yo, you got the Ghost Rider #1. That's not bad. I love that. I definitely want to, when I get some more money, I definitely want to get the first appearance of Ghost Rider. I definitely want to get the first appearance of Ghost Rider. I don't lend money to my family. I love ya. I love it. Right? My family. I love my family. I don't lend money to family. I don't do the whole, business and personal. I'm sorry.
If you're so certain I'm always wrong, why won't you last one debate? I'm not asking you to agree, I'm asking you to defend what you believe. Big difference. Truth doesn't need an audience, only a conversation. So, who's first?
Yo, Evil Eddie. I'm loving this. I know, my brother. I'm loving this. This song is badass. This song is a whole lot better than your last one. I'm sorry.
Where all my haters at? I'm still waiting. Another 1,000 comments today. Still nobody calling to play. Where all my haters at? You talk, but you never engage. The loudest voices always.
I think is that you have a better ear for like rock and pop and shit like that. I think you have a better ear for it.
Keep scrolling, keep hiding behind the
I mean, it makes sense. You don't like rap, so it makes sense.
for the first one who actually shows up.
Yo, that song was badass. That song was badass. Guys, I love ya, right? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. You guys are amazing. Yeah, rap ain't your thing. I definitely understand that. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Please check out my TikTok. Please check out my YouTube shorts. But yeah, you guys are amazing. I love you. My mom won't let me listen to it. Your mom, brother, come to this channel. We can listen to some good music together. All right? We can listen to some good music together. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Later.